I am so excited. We are launching Everyday Keto right now. I have unhid the books. I don't know if that's a word on the website. So all of the new product has been loaded now. So I'll wait till we get a few people join us to go through more of the details. But yeah, it's a happy busy time. So for those of you who subscribe to our mailing list, you'll be receiving an email now with the direct links to the products in store. For anyone that wants to pre-purchase immediately and get the ebook straight away, you can get the links out of this post. So I've actually added the links to the pre-sale cookbook, which is in the paperback, or the bundle. So if you're new to us and haven't bought one of our cookbooks before, we've actually put all 4 cookbooks together that are available in paperback into a bundle. If you're not aware, our books don't go for reprints. We've decided to keep our content very fresh and up to date and not reprint our cookbooks, which is great, but also really hard because we recently sold out of a cookbook and we've noticed the stock of Keto Loco, which was our first big book to announced that we were doing limited edition, is running very low on stock as well. So if you have loved any of the ebooks or any of the cookbooks so far and want to ensure that you get any of the books for your collection, then certainly jump on and grab them. Hi Lucy. Anyone that's watching, Lucy and Crystal, both are actually testers. Lucy did test for this cookbook, so Everyday Keto, it's full of, what would I say? To me, it's everyday things that you can enjoy every day without being everyday boring shit. I mean, that's pretty much what I was sort of saying. Like, people have said to me for a long time, you know, write cookbooks that are called, you know, like Keto Made Easy. Well, there's like already, I don't know, a ton of those, right? And a lot of people do write cookbooks on everyday keto, everyday paleo, everyday vegan, or whatever, meaning that this is the kind of food that you eat every day. But to me, every day doesn't sound exciting. So it doesn't sound to me like something that I actually want to eat every day, because if you hadn't noticed, I'm not somebody that creates the same recipes that you see every day as well. Well, yes, I am. What I'm trying to do is take recipes or meals that you would recognize and create them in new ways that's exciting, and that as well. So Everyday Keto has over 55 recipes in it that you can enjoy every single day, that are not difficult to make, that have everyday ingredients that you're used to from, you know, the keto diet. All mostly found in like the local supermarkets, but they're recipes with a bit of a twist. So things like, you know, your usual beef stroganoff, I have made it into a gorgeous chicken stroganoff made with the king oyster mushrooms. Of course, you can use any mushrooms you wish, whether you want to use dried field mushrooms that you rehydrate, button mushrooms, Swiss browns, any kind of mushroom that you like. But yeah, we do try and take every recipe and give it a little twist and make it more exciting, add more flavor. And in saying that, so the ingredients that are used in the recipes, I haven't limited this book at all in the way of like it's under 6 ingredients or whatever. As I often say, it's very difficult to create a range of meals that are worth buying a cookbook for, you know, because we're not eating meat and 3 veg I'm not going to create a book on meat and 3 veg, or 3 meats and 1 veg. But yeah, they're mostly pantry items. So if it's a recipe that has 12 ingredients, say for instance, there's probably only 2 to 3 main ingredients, which may be some sort of protein or vegetarian, keto, vegan option. And again, something like cream or coconut cream or and some sort of vegetable. So other than that, they're mostly things that will be like your salt, your pepper, your oils, your butters, coconut oil, whatever it is in that sort of way, spices, things that you're generally going to find in your pantry at home now or in your fridge. So yeah, that's the way I like to cook. I don't want anyone to ever look at any of the pictures that I take of food. I'm trying to make it look as tasty and gorgeous as I can, not as a professional photographer, but I want it to look amazing. I want you guys to be able to recreate it looking amazingly as well. But none of the recipes are difficult. None. Even if you look at something, we've got the cover shot is a keto gnocchi. No, it's not just a fathead dough. So it has a few steps because it has our recipes look a little bit bigger because the steps also include both conventional and a thermal method. So if you are somebody that is using a Bellini, Thermomix, Magimix, any of those thermal kind of cookers, you can use the books as well. So you're getting the best value out of it. But again, if you are somebody at home who just has a cooktop and a bowl and an oven, you can make every single recipe as easily as well. But when they look like they've got a lot of steps, it's mainly me just trying to explain clearly and like I'm actually talking you through cooking the recipe at home, so that you can make it easy. It's not difficult. It's not long because honestly, I hate spending a lot of time in the kitchen. So I make the recipes as short a time as I can in preparation to cook or bake. So of course, if it's cooking in the oven, we don't really care, right? So like, if it's something that's going to take 20 minutes in the oven and it only took you 10 minutes to prepare, it's still on the table in under 30 minutes, but you only had to do 10 minutes work for it. And most of that's pulling stuff out of the fridge. Let me have a quick look at the questions. I just got my books and ready to cook. Cool. So today, as I said, the pre-sales are open. You will, the book itself is still getting print ready. The ebook is completely there. So if you purchase the paperback copy, you will receive an immediate download of the ebook. Now, please bear in mind when you are ordering, yes, it is in pre-sales and there is going to be a couple of weeks before we actually get the stock in. If you select regular post, which is under $10 for this book, that's great, but please bear in mind that Australia Post will take 7 to 10 business days, so that can add an extra 2 weeks to your delivery date. So if you choose the $9.95 shipping for this cookbook, you could be waiting a month or more for the cookbook. So I'm just letting you know that. So I'm not getting lots of emails later going, where's my book, when you've selected, a 7 to 10 business day standard from Australia Post. And I cannot put in tracking, and I'm not going to do tracking for you. You will all get tracking labels and stuff like that if it's within that time frame. So, and it's only $2 more for Express Post, but all of our books are okay. So first of all, they're all put into a recycled jiffy bag that protects the book, which is firm cardboard cover that goes over the book, and then they go into either a recyclable Australia Post satchel or our new range of compostable bags. So the smaller one doesn't go into the compostable bag because they don't have one available just yet, but as they increase these, so the compostable ones are made of corn flour. They're not keto friendly, but they're environmentally friendly. Yeah, we've just got the Express Post bags for the smaller satchels, but they're built, all the packaging is built around protecting the book, so keeping it as, so it doesn't get dog-eared or bent, and also weather protected in that as well too. But yes, all will be tracked. So you, as we start getting inundated with orders, Dave will start printing off labels. So you may get an email that says your label has been printed. That does not mean it's been shipped yet. And then when the books are in stock, you'll know. If you're on our social media, we will have they're here, and you'll probably see me live showing you lots of cartons on pallets, as I usually do, because it's a very exciting day. To show you that they're here and that then we start to do the shipping. I'm not going to guarantee that they'll get out in a day or two. Our last cookbook, we worked around the clock, physically exhausting ourselves, to get the books out as quickly as possible. We will still do that. I was still up till 2 a.m. still loading emails and books last night, and I've only had a few hours sleep last night. So yeah, we do try and do as best by you as we can. So yeah, just bear in mind when you go in to order, if you're ordering just the cookbook on its own, it will default to standard shipping. And then underneath it, you've got express shipping. So express shipping, they don't guarantee overnight now, but of course it's a lot quicker. So if you want, when it comes here, to get it faster to you, then select the express shipping. It makes no difference to us. We only charge, well, we're actually charging less than a lot of the rates that you will get for any packaging and stuff like that. International, that's calculated. So we do ship all across the globe. For some countries, yes, shipping is terrible. For our Kiwis, you will notice that there is some cheaper shipping options than we've previously had. And this particular book is a B5 size, and I meant to actually bring one up. It's just like our normal books are A4, so a large cookbook. But anyone that's got, I had a book that is a B5 downstairs. It's the 16:8 intermittent fasting book. I don't even know who wrote it. It's one that I picked up from somewhere. So it's slightly shorter than the A4 and nearly as wide. So it is, I think it's 25 centimeters high by 18 centimeters wide. So it's still a large book. It's bigger than our Lunchtime Keto, but not as large as our other books. So it fits in the smaller satchel, which makes our shipping much more economical for everybody. And it gives everyone a chance to actually sample one of our books if you haven't bought one of our books before. Plus, it also is on a lower price point. So our intro rate, and that will only be through pre-sales, is at $37.95 for this cookbook. And of course, yes, I'm more expensive than Kmart because I actually write, cook, test, photograph, and self-publish everything that you see in that book, where a lot of the cookbooks that you'll actually purchase that don't have an author on it are written by underpaid people who are basically sourcing the internet and taking other people's recipes for your cookbooks. Not that everybody does that, but yeah, this is why you pay more. But you're also getting a cookbook written by somebody who actually loves and follows the keto lifestyle. So I have been a passionate cook all my life. I have worked professionally in the field, and I don't look at keto as something that I have to create fake food that other than if you were like on a keto diet and not eating, breads or biscuits or chips or whatever, have to create something that is okay but not great, and only somebody who's not eating those things will enjoy. I try and create food that everyone will enjoy. So even if they're eating breads, biscuits, chips, whatever, when they try your keto food, they'll still love it too, which some people don't like because then they have to share. But anyway, that's my kind of philosophy. So I try and keep everything so easy, fresh, tasty, and something that you'd recognize, or even for those of you who have learnt to trust that our recipes are tasty, that will actually push you to try new things. And I am loving seeing so many people going, oh my God, I've never tried this before. With our Keto Kickstart, it was amazing. I was pushing people to using anchovies in cooking because you do not taste the fish. Dave doesn't like anchovies, but I've given him the food, not told him it's in there, and he doesn't know. It only adds the saltiness. Or that they found a newfound love for pomegranate seeds, which, you only use a few on top of a delicious meal to give it a lovely color, a freshness, a little pop of sweetness, and not so sweet because they're kind of a bit of a mystery fruit in that kind of way. But yeah, and it only adds like negligible carbs really in what you would put on top of a meal. So but yeah, I'm loving seeing so many people trying new things that they never would have tried before, and really enjoying and seeing them remake it or reinvent it. I saw Kerry Nickel who had done, might have been our meatballs or something with the Italian sauce. I do too many recipes. And then I saw her do chicken drumsticks in it. So, it's little things like that I see that I absolutely love, seeing that you are actually taking the recipes and creating it your own way. That's what I've always done all my life, and that's, I guess, why I'm here today, is because I was never one to ever follow a recipe, and it even pains me to test the cookbooks as such, because I'm probably one of the few testers that actually reads every single line as I'm doing it, to make sure that it makes sense for you guys to be able to make it and that as well at home, rather than just, oh, this is how I would do it, and just chucking it in the stove and, like, knowing that that's tastes great, but not that I've actually tested the recipe as it's written. So yeah, it's interesting, and in that it's a hard slog to actually get to write down in a language that everybody's going to understand how to do something sometimes, especially like shaping things and stuff. But I've tried and kept things really simple. So using the gnocchi again for an example, there's like gnocchi boards, pasta shaper ones, or over a fork, where you can actually like press with your finger and then roll forward to actually shape the dough. I didn't even bother putting that in. If you want to create really fancy looking gnocchi from our cookbook, you can go right ahead. I have just done it simple, because already to create the dough, to create the gnocchi, because it's not necessarily a dough, to freeze it, shape it, cut it, poach it, and then cook it in our sage butter sauce, that's a lot of steps. So if I went in there and went, okay, well, this is how you shape it on this, and this is how you shape it on that, we have to limit it so that it doesn't look too scary for anybody. So yeah, that, there is more things in it. Tonight I will be jumping on live again on Facebook in the kitchen, and I will be making our blackberry and cucumber salad. It is a absolute standout to me. If you think it even looks weird from the cookbook, trust me, you are going to love it. And blackberries and steak, holy cow, as somebody who's not even was a meat eater, those two things together are amazing. But that dressing that's in the salad, the whole lot, it's just like outstanding. So we'll be making that. I will also do the Mediterranean zucchini fries that we've got, or parmesan that we've done in the book, and that as well too. And I'm also going to do, it's in the book, it's just as a basic, I'm going to do the yeasted fathead, which is also available on our website in the bagels. It's not used in the same way that I use it in this cookbook, but I want to possibly saturate the market with videos of me using this and making this dough for two reasons, really. One is I hate standard fathead, and I'm sure there's possibly plenty of you who, like me, have made it in the past and been underwhelmed. There is a reason, and it's not necessarily the recipe. It's usually in the method, and there is some things that I do in the method and the order of the recipe that makes it completely different. This one does have yeast in it, so I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how the yeast should look again. I know I've done it before, but it will be a great either refresher for some of you, or a first time that you'll actually see it. And I'm going to show you what the consistency of the dough should be like when it comes out of your mixer or out of your bowl. It doesn't matter which way you do it, because either way you're mixing it before you stick it on your bench top or on your silicone mat, until it's not sticky anymore, so it shouldn't stick to your hand. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do those three things. So we're going to do 3 vegetarian dishes. Yes, I have said I'm going to do like a plant-based book. It's going to get pushed back to next year, just because everything's just been so busy, and I've just got a lot of things going on at home as well. But all our books have a heavy, at least vegetarian element to them, because I do try and put as many vegetarian and vegan alternatives as I can throughout the books. So again, this book has, and you'll see it when you go into the store, a dietary guideline list that'll actually show you some of the dietary substitutions or variations that we've actually put in this book. So there is a lot of variations on top of the 55 recipes or dietary needs hit. Of course, I only write for keto or low carb, but in saying that, it doesn't matter if you're not keto or low carb, you can still enjoy every meal in there, because that's when I say, like, I'm not creating a new way to make an apple, kind of thing. Anyway, it's real food, done nice. Anyone should like it. And I don't, compromise on flavors and that for foods. Just have a quick look at this thread. I've just bought the book. Hi, Linda. Everyday Keto is amazing. Easy, quick meals. Just got my books and ready to cook. We will be putting up another thread in our Facebook group. So if you're not on our Facebook group, there is oh no, I didn't put a link in there. I never remember the name of it. Anyway, if somebody can put a link to our Facebook group in the thread, our main group, that would be fabulous. But it's a Mad Creations Facebook group. We will put a thread in there for who cooked it first. We did this with Keto Loco. It was amazing, the response. We cooked the entire book in a week. I would love to see that with this one. There is less recipes in this book, so it should be easier. And in saying that there's less recipes, there is a sizable chunk, as you can see from the index and the dietary guidelines, of breaking the fast, of meals that you can eat at any time of the day. Our variety of sweets is quite simple. I'm not making anything too difficult. There is one recipe with xylitol or allulose recommended only for a caramel, but there is alternatives that you could use in that section rather than alternative sweeteners. Now, in saying that, let's just talk about the book itself. If you haven't got one of my books before, particularly like Keto Loco, I went into a whole new, well, not a whole new, but like I went into further detail with each recipe. So I've done the same with this one. So every recipe in the book, as I've already said, comes with a conventional method and a thermal method. So you can, if you're a thermi lover and you only want a cookbook for that, then this book has every recipe includes a thermal method. If it doesn't show it in the specific recipe of one, it'll be that a major component of it will be in it. Let's say like the Cubano, the dough is made in the Thermomix, or it can still be made conventionally. Every recipe has macros per serve, where a serve is specifically like a pasty or a muffin or slice. I have written what the serving is so that you actually know that that's a serve. So if they say serves 12 per muffin, then there's the macros, which include your calories, your net carbs, your protein, and your fats for those. We have the variations that we've actually put in it. So let's just say the sour cream and chive muffins have bacon, and you can omit the bacon for a vegetarian alternative in that one. And I actually state certain ingredients that you may want to use to change the recipe completely. So I think in the instance of, say, it might have been our bulgogi, I've done where you can do a vegan bulgogi with eggplant, and given you the measure and that for that as well. So we have those sort of variations. So there is in-depth notes. It gives you all how to store or freeze the recipes and that as well too. But yeah, basically like what to use, what to look out for. I put notes so that, like I said, so that when you're cooking, you're like, oh, mine's not turning out looking like that. Look in the notes, because it'll probably say things like our galette, it doesn't need to be neat. A galette is usually a rough pastry thing that people just fold in and bits crack or whatever. So if mine looks prettier in the picture, it's probably just that I've taken more time to shape or whatever. But it doesn't need to look like that. Sometimes I think rough and rustic looks so much better than neat and tidy. Trust me, look at me. So yeah, in every recipe, that's pretty much what you're going to get. For measures, we have it in metric and US customary. So if you're using the imperial system, you'll get that. I have a full conversion in the back of the book. We actually have like cooking versions for gas oven, convection oven, static oven, your tablespoon measures, your cup measures, all of those sort of things. So you actually have a general guide in our book and that as well. So no one is lost as to what Megan used in this recipe. They have all been tested. I don't know how many testers we had this time around, but let's just say it's roughly around about 15 for this particular book. The recipes have been tested many many times. And they've been put through both methods. Plus, of course, I test them and that as well too, and adjust them, and then we retest them if I've adjusted the recipes. What else is on a page? Because I don't even have a book. I should have had at least one book here to use as a guide. The majority of the recipes, where possible, are made for 2 servings. So like if it's a muffin, I'm not going to do 2 servings of muffins. You can make 12, there are 100 ml muffins, or you can make larger ones, 6 larger ones, and you can freeze the other one. So I give you instructions for that, but I've done it where it's 2, so you can multiply the recipe where suited, or halve it if you wanted to for a single serve. But I mean, for me, convenience in keto is actually being able to make an extra serve at least, so you can have something in the fridge. Some things were stretched maybe to 3 or 4 out of the one recipe, and that's usually done only because you need to add a certain amount of some ingredients to get the sauce right, say for instance, but then you can actually add more protein so that you're not adding all those extra carbs for the sauce for 2 serves. It stretches over 4 with the extra protein. So that's usually where that happens too. So, and again, I've just given you instructions. So I can't think of one off the top of my head, but let's just say the Bangkok chicken makes 4 serves. You know, you and your partner having one, or even if it's just you, you could actually like keep one later in the fridge for up to 3 to 4 days in an airtight container, and then you serve. You dish out 2 serves into some airtight sealable containers, and then pop them in the freezer, and you've got ready-made meals for when you really can't be bothered. And trust me, I'm about to get busy in the kitchen to do a bit of cooking and that as well too, because I've depleted all our stocks of anything that's ready-made meals, and Dave's always like, is there anything other than ingredients? So yeah, I've just tried to keep it pretty basic for everybody in that way. So then, yeah, you can multiply it. What else is in the back? So there, like I said, there's a dietary guide, there's a conversion, there is a glossary as well. So if you're going to use a recipe, like I said, bulgogi is a good one. I have added optional gochujang. Somebody correct me on that one. It is found in Coles supermarkets and the Asian food aisles, but it's a red bean paste that can add extra carbs, and but it is totally optional. But where those sort of things are, you can actually go down to, you can omit it completely. It'll only just take out that umami sort of saltiness to the recipe, and potentially a little bit of color. But yeah, those sort of ingredients are in the back of the book where it talks about sweeteners. So a sweetener is a good one to go through, because I know so many people use so many different kinds of sweeteners. Firstly, just remember, if you're not using a granulated sweetener, like keto-friendly sweetener, that's similar to sugar. So think of sugar and then look at what you're using. If it's finer, look on the packet to see what the measures are on that sweetener for cup or tablespoon to tablespoon, whatever it has on those packets. For example, 1 cup of sweetener is roughly around about 110 grams, but 1 cup of powdered sweetener is 150 grams. So you're actually adding more sweetener. So in some of them, they're not a 1-to-1 ratio per gram, and some are not a 1-to-1 ratio per sweetener. So I always use a erythritol, powdered erythritol, or in the instances of ice creams, or some sweeteners, some sweets, desserts like caramels, I will use an allulose, which is available through iHerb, or xylitol, which I get through Keto Eats. So, because they don't recrystallize. So if you see me talking about crystallization and you're going to use an erythritol or monk fruit, they're going to crystallize, which means that they actually, once they cool, they start to go back to their hard state. So you can end up with what I call like icicles and stuff like that. Let's just say if it was in a curd, you'd end up with that sort of crunchy, grainy feel to it. So in those instances, you can swap it out. For ice cream, you can still use I would use a powdered erythritol if you weren't going to use a xylitol or allulose, but it will set hard. You just need to take it out to soften before you're going to eat. So yeah, there is a glossary in there for any of those ingredients, but other than xylitol, every single ingredient is found in the local supermarket. Like I say, I know a lot of you do buy online from low carb suppliers, so please, if you want to make more confectionery, or like I said, a curd's not even in this book, but let's just say if you want to make curds and jams and things like that, buy xylitol online. But just remember that it is toxic to dogs, and to use it safely, and possibly not to use it if you've got the kids and they feed your doggies. Okay, so no, that's not the Facebook link I wanted. It's the one to the group, Jenny, if you wanted to try that again. It's to our main group. That one's to this actual page. So, but yeah, well, today I'll have the live here, but on the group we'll actually have more about what you can win and that as well too. So let's just talk about what you can win anyways. Then I've got some of you on live. I just moved that whole screen up so I can't see. Okay, so during pre-sales, we have a 1 in 5, well, 5 chances, not 1 in 5. We have 5 chances for people to get onto our test team for our next cookbook, which a lot of people really love the experience of being a tester and seeing a little bit of the craziness behind the scenes. So they will just go out and random to any of the paperbacks that are sold. You will receive a little gift and a little note to say that you are part of our testing team. We have a big stash of premixes of our Mad Creations bread ranges, and we'll be slipping a packet into some of the postage when it goes out. What else do we have? We'll have some giveaways from sponsors and that as well. I don't ever prepare for these things. That's why you get me. That's pretty much how I write a cookbook too. So yeah, there's a few things that you can win along the way. But yeah, so there's just the chances of the testing, the bread mixes, and there's something else, but I'll put it all on there anyway. So I like to do lots of giveaways, and of course we've got the intro rate while it's there. There is a new quad pack available in store in that as well too, which includes our Keto Loco, our Healthy Family Lunchtime Keto, and the new Everyday Keto. If you order the bundle of cookbooks, or if you add any other cookbook to your pre-order of Everyday Keto, they will ship together. You will not be receiving, let's just say if you went on today and ordered Healthy Family and Everyday Keto pre-order, we're not going to ship your Healthy Family and then ship your other one in a couple of weeks time. They will go together. So yeah, if you order any of the hard copy books, you do receive an email immediately with a complimentary copy of the ebook. So you can download it and start cooking straight away, making your shopping list, making your meal plans, whatever you want to do with those. And yeah, that will at least get you up and away. Even if you're not an ebook person, you might just want to have a look through the book. Save it to your device. Now remember that the downloads, there's only the 7 downloads. You only need 1 download. What you need to do is open it up and save it to your device. In the actual receipt for the download, it actually has an FAQ section that actually teaches you and gives you more tips on how to save to your device. Don't tell me that it's not working, because they do work. We've already done it. You just need to troubleshoot your device, and Google is your friend when it comes to that. In saying these sort of things too, my email is very busy at this sort of time of the year when we do a launch. So please try and troubleshoot anything that you have yourself. Please do not Facebook message me if you haven't got a download because you've entered the wrong email address. Please email me. As we always say, at megan@madcreationshub.com. I'm not going to troubleshoot orders over Facebook because I cannot verify who I'm talking to. And in the interest of Privacy Act, I cannot share any of that information and that to somebody I can't verify. It doesn't matter if you send me that email address in the chat. I like to do it via email. So when I respond, if there is a problem with it not landing in your inbox and it's going to your spam file, you've actually opened up that contact. If you're on our subscribers list on the website, please go into your contacts and whitelist or make me a VIP email address so that the emails will always land in your inbox. 99.9999% of the times anyone doesn't get a download is because they've actually done a keying error in their email address. So please remember when you actually do email me to start with a salutation and a nice email rather than, I haven't got it. And then I go, well, is this your email address? No, it's not. But it was my email address 10 years ago. So, that's usually the case. And don't worry, I've done it myself before. But yeah, normally if you don't address somebody in an email, it goes into spam folder because the server will think that you don't know the person that you're actually sending it to. So that's why it will go into my spam folder and I do not check them. So just send me a hi Megan, and I haven't found my download, but please look in your all mail. Just look up keywords everyday keto because it's in the title of the email, in your all mail, not your inbox, and you should be able to find it. Thank you using my birthday to release your new creation. Hi, Jenny. Thanks, I wasn't sure. Awesome. So does anyone have any questions about the book? Is there anything that you need to know? Undecided about it, whether it has this, because that's like a deal breaker for you. We do try and take into account everything that everybody's asked for in the past and improve with each cookbook. Even I had one of the testers who's been with me since the very beginning of Real Food, Real Fast and Flavor say the other day that each book gets better. Well, I'd only hope so because, we have come a long way. But, we've got a good support team around us. And as I keep getting corrected all the time, I start getting a bit better at writing these recipes in a format and way that's easier to understand. For those of you who don't think you are the best cooks in the world too, the recipes are being tested with people of all levels of cooking. The instructions are extremely simple to follow because one of the things that you may not know is when the testers actually receive the recipe to make, they are given no pictures. So they don't know how it's going to turn out, how it's supposed to look, or whatever. They have to follow the instructions and create the recipe in the way that I think in my brain that it should be and that I write it down. So like I said, things like an affogato with mini donuts popping out of a straw and things like that. They all had so much fun doing these things, and pretty much they all hit it on the mark straight away. But yeah, pictures for you guys, it's a little bit easier. Well, I often say I love to see those gorgeous, I love dark and moody pictures, but I'm stepping away from a lot of that because I know you guys tend not to like that in a cookbook. But I like the big spread ones where, you see more the ambience of the meals and that served rather than up close and personal on the food. But I know that a lot of people use that as a reference point. So we do tend to do a lot of up close, tight cropped imagery to show the food at its best, and so you can actually see the specific sizes or the way I may have sliced it. So let's just say, not that it's in the book, the cucumber salad, I think I've just done it in rounds. I peeled it, but you will see later tonight, because I am going to be live at 6:30 p.m. tonight cooking it, or not cooking it, I'm going to be mixing that one, but we will be in the kitchen. But peeling it, I haven't peeled it all till it's white. I've peeled it and left green strips because that takes me back to my childhood. But they're little things that you might see and go, oh, I like it that way, so I'm going to do it that way. Or if it was to DC the cucumber and cut it in half and cut it into half moons, you would actually be able to see those pictures. So that's why I shoot the photography that way. A lot of people ask me all the time, including my testers, if I actually shoot the cookbook myself, and yes, I do. So like I say, I'm not a professional photographer. The photography has gotten better over the years, but I do my best to to photograph the food as amazing as possible. And for the second cookbook in a row, the weather has not been nice to me. And today it is, well, it's not flogging down rain now, I don't think. It might still be sprinkling, but it's a really terrible day. Well, not terrible, but it's overcast and rainy and windy. But yeah, like when I try and shoot, I'm trying to get the natural light. I mean, I used to shoot the artificial light all the time, and then I change over, and then the weather goes to hell when I go to shoot a cookbook. But anyway, you'll be able to see beautiful, clear photography throughout the book. I try and create beautiful books that you'll actually enjoy to look through, and that as well too. And the beauty of actually having the digital version with a paperback copy is that you can not only look through the cookbook, but you could actually like take your laptop or your iPhone or your phone or your tablet into the kitchen and cook from that, and keep your book on your table and use that and keep it all nice and pretty. But in saying that as well, our cookbooks are used of the highest quality that we can as well. So we have them locally printed at Print Nova in Warners Bay, not far from us. So they're Australian printed, and the cover is like a silk mat. It's 350 grams. I don't know GSM that anyone would understand this, but let's just say it's the thickest and highest quality that we can actually have on the cover of the book. This makes it easily like wipe clean and to protect your book and that as well. And the inside pages are the thickest pages that goes into books as well, 170 GSM, and they're a high gloss again, so you can wipe them clean. So they're not like clear and flimsy. A lot of people do say our books are quite weighty because our big books are around 1 kilo. This book will be, I think, just under half a kilo. From the sizing that we've done it, because like I said, it's a smaller, the 25 centimeters rather than 29.7, so it's 4.7 difference in height. Okay, is there no yeast alternative to bread? Well, there's no bread in this book, but if you're talking about our low carb bread, Karen, no, it's a yeasted bread. So if a bread actually has yeast in it, like if it's my fathead dough that you're talking about, yeah, you can just leave that out. There is another basic pastry in the cookbook as well that actually has no yeast in it. But yeah, I'm not sure to which one you're referring to, but we have, like, on our website of our breads, there's only one loaf that actually has yeast in it. All the others are gluten-free. But yeah, the low carb bread has yeast in it, if that's the one you're referring to. Love your photos. Really appreciate seeing the results. Thanks, Jenny. Looking forward to order the book. I'm sure it's amazing, like all your other books. Oh, thanks, Marcella. I don't know where you are in the world at the moment. I think you might be in Singapore. So we'll look forward to getting your book there, and hopefully you're not moving again at this time. Okay, so I haven't got any questions, it seems. So I will jump off so I can see what's going on, seeing we've released the book while I've been live, and come back at 6:30 tonight. And as I'd said earlier, if you weren't here, we will be making the blackberry and cucumber salad, which is an amazing salad. You might think that it's simple and boring, but no, it's not. And I am someone who doesn't think you can win friends with salad, but you might just be able to with this one. We'll be making the Mediterranean zucchini parmesan, and we'll be making the yeasted fathead pastry. So I can show you the consistency in that again. But anyway, thanks for those of you who have joined me, and if you've ordered the book, now I know why the group was there. Jump onto the group, because we'll have a Who Cooked It First. We'll have some prizes to give away for those as well. And yeah, you can start sharing all your pictures of everything that you're making. I want to see the social media lit up today with lots of the recipes from Everyday Keto, and I really do hope you love it. And if you do love it, remember to jump back onto the site and leave a review, because your reviews actually help other people know whether it's a good book or not, because there is a lot of cookbooks in the world, and we're just a little blip. And we want everyone to know that we actually do our very best to create cookbooks that everybody will love. But anyway, have an amazing day. I hope the sun is shining wherever you are, because it's certainly not here, but it is inside. Okay, happy cooking, and I'll catch you at 6:30, and that's Eastern Standard Time, because I'm in Newcastle, New South Wales. For those of you who didn't know, I'm an Aussie as well, if you can't tell by this voice. Okay, I'll catch you all later.